Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all. Once again, you are welcome here on your beloved platform, the platform for awakening consciousness. So here it is, one of the international news items, the European Union, which wants the continuation of the conflict on Ukrainian soil because it benefits greatly from it. The European Union, which has proposed several strategies to America, but which Donald Trump dismissed with a wave of his hand. The European Union is now turning to Ukraine itself. The European Union has just proposed one of its latest solutions that will allow the European Union to continue to have control over Ukraine, to continue to push Ukraine against Russia, to continue ensuring that the peace so desired by America for Ukraine can never exist, because in reality, the continuation of the conflict in Ukraine is to Europe's advantage. As long as things are not going well there, America, which cares about Ukraine, will always continue to ensure the security guarantee of Europe. This is one of the reasons. So, the European Union comes up with a new solution, but very ridiculous in fact. And we wonder, is this solution really going to be a solution? Let's deal with the redundancy anyway, because it makes us laugh. Dear ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are going to discuss in this video conference. You already know the procedure. I humbly ask you to share the video conference. Share it in all possible groups, because when you share, it gives the video conference a lot of visibility. And then it allows others to discover our page, our channel, and to receive information broken down 180 degrees in real time, just like you also received the information. There you go. So, let's dive deep, give it a lot of likes, and especially share this video conference as much as possible. According to the official information, the European Union is considering several options to support Ukraine. Since they have been excluded from the dialogue, the European Union will not be at the dialogue table, at least for the moment, according to what we know. Therefore, the European Union is considering several options within the framework of defense aid to Ukraine, and they say that defense aid is a priority. They are making it a true priority. Let's dive deeper, ladies and gentlemen. What is the European Union concretely planning? The European Union plans the integration of the Ukrainian defense industry into the structures of the European Union. Did you understand this part? The integration of Ukrainian defense structures are into the structures of the European Union. The integration of the Ukrainian defense industry into the structures of the European Union. This means making Ukraine a member of the European Union without it actually being a member. Making Ukraine a member of NATO without Ukraine being truly and officially a member of NATO. So, this concerns the structures of the Ukrainian defense industry. When we talk about the Ukrainian defense industry, we mean production factories, drones, production factories, missiles, and everything that falls within the scope of the production of military equipment that Ukraine possesses. They want to integrate this into the structures of the European Union. In other words, in the same way as Ukraine, at least what the European Union protects its industries, in the same way that the European Union wants to rearm, they will use the same method to protect their industry, thus protecting the industry, the Ukrainian defense industry, but above all, also rearm Ukraine. So, here is the idea behind it. And so, it's a key proposal. And according to the European Commissioner for Defense, Andreas Kubilus is very, very clear about this. very clear about this. He says that discussions are ongoing in the Council of the European Union and the European Parliament regarding this idea. Discussions are ongoing in the Council. In the Council of the European Union, as well as in the European Parliament. And a decision could be made by the summer. So it could be very soon. Then there is another option, which according to them involves investing in Ukrainian defense production. Inspired by the Danish model, this approach would stimulate the defense sector and the Ukrainian economy while speeding up the supply of weapons to the Ukrainian armed forces. Second proposal, accelerate the supply of armaments to the Ukrainian forces. Accelerate the supply. At a time when we are seeking to move towards peace, we are looking to be able to accelerate the supply to the Ukrainian forces. That means they do not want for now peace to return. They want conflict. 100%. And that is why Hungary is fighting adamantly. Hungary has announced that it will impose a veto on one of the major decisions that must be made in the coming days in favor of Ukraine. We have decisions that need to be made in favor of Ukraine and others that need to be made against Russia. But Viktor Orban's Hungary is truly opposed. So, which means that we have the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who's trying to convince Hungary. He wants Hungary to extend the sanctions against Russia. Yes, and for Hungary to abandon the idea of continuing to impose its veto on decisions that are favorable to Ukraine. So, Hungary, which planned to impose its veto on the extension of sanctions against Russia, Hungary had said that. But Hungary had argued that yes, even Donald Trump is against the sanctions against Russia. So, that's what Hungary says. Donald Trump is against sanctions against Russia. He initially said he was considering lifting the restrictions. But in the last 24 hours, Donald Trump had threatened Russia, because that's what happened as it went beyond. Donald Trump. We have the US Secretary of State and the Europeans who want to put pressure on, what's his name? Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, to tell him to stop, not to use his veto. But if he doesn't use his veto, because according to them, Donald Trump threatened Russia. After saying to lift the sanctions against Russia, he threatened Russia again. So, if Europe continues on this path, when Donald Trump, who changes at any moment, comes back again to say he is against the sanctions on Russia, Europe will be isolated. Because the set of sanctions that Europe wants to impose, to unleash on Russia, is enormous. So here, ladies and gentlemen, are the clashes, the altercations between the European Union, Ukraine, and Hungary, as well as the United States of America. Of course, here is what he had to say at this level. Dear ladies and gentlemen, it is always a pleasure for me to serve you here on the platform for raising awareness. And now it's your turn to play your role. Thanks already to all those who are playing their role. That is to say, share the video conference as much as possible. Yes, and invite your friends to subscribe. So, thank you to each and every one of you. I will be back shortly with new updates. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.